It's the middle of the night. A lion walks out of the desert onto a beach. And he roars. And he roars. And if you were to follow the sound out across the sea, what happens next? What if it were the loudest sound you ever heard? What happens next?
So this project started in a state of curiosity about what happens next. And each creature who encounters the sound has a different idea about what it is and feel terrified or angry or isolated, but they end up being united by this experience of hearing this terrifying sound. And so the themes of the story are about kind of loneliness and isolation and outbursts, but also togetherness. And when we started making the show, the audience experience of this is what we really want to hit. So it mirrors the action inside it. So the audience members can feel alone and isolated and observers, but they are also an integral part of the storytelling and they're inside the story. So 1 minute there's a tiny lion, 1 minute the lion's enormous. So we've been collaborating with an illustrator, a composer-musician, a puppet designer, a puppet director, a movement director, and then myself and another performer. And my background is in interactive and immersive performance. So we at Frank and Wild are very interested in the audience experience of how this works. So what we decided to do in the time that we had was to see how we could blend these elements into a sketch of the show to share with audiences. We've been based at Teater Refleksion and we did a full week of test audiences with different children of different ages and backgrounds from the Kommune. And we've been working with Bornkulturhuset here to find the test audiences. So it starts with the children exploring unusual objects with us. And we make up stories, and then gradually we find the crabs who are actually the protagonists. One is the most terrified creature in the sea, and one is introduced as the bravest. And it's the crabs who actually invite the audience to tell this epic tale with them. We build a small illustrated world on the beach, but the story is too big and immediately starts breaking out with sounds and bits of expandable set, and it goes into the audience, like literally into the audience, and they start manipulating waves, they're making the soundtrack with us, and we record their samples on a digital sampler and manipulate them to create the show together, and they're totally inside the story world and involved in what we do. It's been fantastic. The sharings have been going really well, and the children have been very engaged with what they hoped and more. Lots of testing for us, which was fantastic. And they afterwards have been drawing and talking about the characters and playing with the sampler. They were very interested in that. But they've also been coming to talk to us about their own fears and anxieties, which is just more than we could hope for at this point. And in terms of the teacher feedback, they've also been really excited about it as an English language resource, to come and find something a different way to learn English. So as we continue to raise funds, we're going to keep developing this into a new theatrical experience, which is tourable and can go to theatres and schools and public spaces. We want to make something that can go anywhere. And it can be used as a resource for creativity and inspiration and language learning, and also having conversations around difficult topics for children, which would be incredible if we can build on that as a platform. But also just to be enjoyed as a shared experience where you as an audience member feel seen and welcomed into the experience and to be inside of it as it's being made. So hopefully you leave with some great memories and are full of just new stories that you want to tell.
Mm-hmm.